Welcome to Old Folks Racing PlayStation and welcome to the BMW M1 Pro Car, the oil tanker that the old folks are going to try to tame around the Dubai circuit. We have two races as usual. This is race 1 of round 2, so it's the third race of the Winter 2022 Championship, and look at that twisty circuit. Darren Head is on pole, followed by Kev Allen. Diogo Silva and Del Taylor are on the second row, followed by Diogo Almeida, Simon Allen, Frankie, Randy, Scott Davely, Peter Adrian, Jorge Jesus only 11th, and then is Jambo as they go for the first start. Lights out and away we go, and it's a good start by pretty much everyone. A bit of a contact there, and there's already a crash between Peter Adrian and I believe it is Randy that is making his debut here in Old Folks Racing winter season. That was a bit of an unfortunate accident, and I think it's really because this car is difficult to control. I'm not sure what happened there with Peter Adrian and who exactly connected with whom, but already a couple of drivers delayed. Everyone else goes through the first few corners safely. We are not on board in the chase camera with Simon Allen, and already some drivers trying to make moves there ahead. And someone has gotten out of the way. That was Diogo Almeida that missed that corner and loses a lot of speed, a lot of momentum. Diogo Almeida is now in 9th place, Copper Knob 75, that Simon Allen is in the top 5. Darren Head has disappeared into the lead, followed by Kev Allen, I'm sorry. Kev Allen has disappeared into the lead, followed by Darren Head and Diogo Silva. So Kev Allen has overtaken the pole position man, Darren Head, as Diogo Silva is already trying to find Del Taylor in his mirrors, and Simon Allen is following the lot. Look at this, is a good battle there for the first few positions of this race. They are still on the first lap. It's a very long circuit here. Look at this, Simon Allen. And hits the back of Del Taylor, pushes him, and Del Taylor is now side by side with Diogo Silva, but poor old Simon Allen has actually lost time and is now under attack from, would you believe it, Alonso Fonso. The man that started in 11th is already up to 6th. Scott Davely being overtaken on the outside by Frankie. That was for 7th place. We are still in the first lap, would you believe it, and Darren Head is trying to get back his lead of this race. And now finally, and Kev Allen is sliding and hits the barrier at speed. No damage fortunately, but look at that, there's a bunch of cars just going round and round and round, and he loses first, second, third. He's going to be in 4th, 5th spot for Kev Allen, and that's a disaster for the man that started in the front row and was almost leading the first lap, but in fact he crashed before the first lap was over. So Darren Head, the pole position man, ends up leading the opening lap, despite the fact that he only led for one corner or so. Now followed by Diogo Silva in the second place in that Zipanol number 77 BMW Pro Car. Of course, this car actually was a support race of Formula 1 in many races in the 1980s, had its own series with a lot of Formula 1 drivers occasionally participating as well, and the amount of talent was unparalleled, of course, until this week when the old folks decided to use this car. Look at that, that was Del Taylor, I believe, defending from Simon Allen, and good defense there, both drivers leaving room for each other and not losing too much time. But here comes Kev Allen. Look at this, Simon Allen just lost a bit of composure there, trying to attack Del Taylor. Now they're going side by side into that hairpin, and nice driving again by both drivers there. Not this time for Kev Allen, but he certainly remains in contention, at least for a podium. Frankie is in 7th place and he's behind Jorge Jesus, that has made a very good start indeed. Look at this, Kev Allen now punting Simon Allen, trying to say, hey, I'm here, let me go, I've got the speed and I can attack the drivers in front. But first, of course, Kev Allen has to go around Simon Allen. Now this is not an overtaking spot here, and Kev Allen already on the previous lap lost the time by spinning. as they complete another lap, and there's a bit of a train here with Darren Head, Diogo Silva, Dale Taylor, Simon and Caval, and Alonso Afonso and Frankie. They're all within 4 seconds of one another, and that's literally nothing when you consider that there are 7 large oil tankers there running almost nose to tail. Look at this now. This is Simon Allen on the inside of Dale Taylor. There's going to be a little bit of contact, a little bit of a nudge. Dale Taylor is off the track, but manages to not lose time. This is great stuff, actually. Both drivers leaving each other room. Dale Taylor is going to take this corner, but I think he's going to have to yield now. He's going to have to yield, yes, and now here comes Cavallan as well on the outside, but he's not going to be able to do a move in this particular corner. Incredible stuff here in Dubai, as these old folks are really put on the show. Look at this nice exit there from Cavallan into the back straight, and now it's game, set and match for Cavallan. He's going back into 4th place. Dale Taylor has to go back to 5th and goes back to square zero. Look at this, Cavallan and also Dale Taylor overtakes Simon Allen. Absolutely brilliant. What happened to Simon Allen there? He was just braking a little bit too early, and look at that, Cavallan, great stuff. And Dale Taylor actually has overtaken both of them. Amazing stuff here. This is really the racing that we like to see in Old Fox Racing PlayStation. You see battles through the field, you see side by side. Look at that, that was Cavallan that got a bit scared there, and I don't think is wrong about the fact that Simon Allen was really there and he wanted to avoid a crash. Now coming on the inside, they go side by side into this very annoying corner, a double apex corner, but never seems to go right for any of the Old Fox. Alonso Afonso spins, he hit the back of Simon Allen. He was trying to be aggressive and he paid the price for too much aggression too early in this race. And there's a replay of Scott Davely, and Frankie, and Scott is in the back straight and he's having a run at Frankie. Oh, and Frankie defended at the same time that Scott was trying to put a move. Scott is now stopped. I believe he's waiting. Yes, he is waiting for Frankie to overtake him and continue. So both drivers continue. I don't think they lost in fact any positions, because it is what's going on behind these two. No, they lost a position to Diogo Almeida, who is now in 7th. All of a sudden Diogo Almeida is in the top 7 because Alonso Afonso has spun on his own, and Frankie and Scott Davely have got together, and of course Peter Adrian is a little bit behind these drivers, so they managed to at least remain in the top 10. And Diogo Almeida, all of a sudden, not only he is in 7th place. Look at this, Jumbo is in 6th after starting last. This is another Jumbo special. He is definitely very under the radar, but he gets the job done. And in fact, I think Scott Davely and Frankie lost 2 positions to Diogo Almeida and Jumbo respectively. Now here comes an aggressive Diogo Almeida on the inside there. It's perfectly fine to overtake there, and that was a good overtaking move. And Alonso Afonso is behind. He has rejoined after that spin in 8th position. 9th and 10th are Frankie and Scott, who of course got together in the hairpin after the back straight over here. In fact, Diogo Silva is in 2nd spot, and the gap at the front has remained quite stable. Darren Head seems to be in control, but it's now the gap is under a second. Not the easiest combo to overtake if you have drivers of similar skill, but Diogo Silva seems to be approaching and closing that gap little by little. We are still on lap 4. We've got 10 laps here, shorter than the usual 12 because they are running more than 2 minutes a lap. You can see the leader Darren Head 2:03.4, Diogo Silva 2:03.2. So definitely getting closer, and the battle for the lead has not ended because we haven't even reached the halfway point yet. Dale Taylor and Simon Allen and Cavallan seem to have calmed down a little bit from all the action of the previous lap. They are sitting 3rd, 4th and 5th. Diogo Almeida is up to 6th after overtaking Jumbo. We saw that. Alonso Afonso, look at this, he's trying to recover. He certainly has got the pace. He started 11th, but he was 6th by the end of the first lap. Now he's back into 8th position, but he still has to now overtake Jumbo. And look at this, Jumbo is on the inside of Diogo Almeida. There's a good move, but it needs a bit of cooperation from the driver in front. And will there be cooperation? No. He shuts the door on him and now is well, all over the place. Diogo Almeida, he might even have gone off track. We do not know. Penalty. Look at this. Alonso Afonso is coming on the inside. That didn't quite work. This track is very wide indeed, and that allows for some pretty good racing. Now he's coming on the inside, Alonso Afonso, and there's contact, and all contact again. Oh dear, these three drivers, this is all going to go haywire in a few corners. I can already predict that this is not going to end well. Look at this. Alonso Afonso certainly seems to have the pace now in this important corner that leads into the back straight. We are on the 5th lap. Let's see if anyone is brave enough to just dive now in the hairpin, and Jumbo thought about it, and didn't do it, and Alonso Afonso ends up locking up as well. Look at this. Jumbo is certainly very close to Diogo Almeida. Nice battle between these three drivers. This is for 6th place, remember. Now lost a bit of momentum, and here comes Alonso Afonso. Jumbo is already on the inside line trying to protect his line, and now certainly Alonso Afonso will have a run into the annoying corner, and here is Kev Allen on the inside of Simon Allen, and lost it a little bit, and lost it a little bit of a drift. Off the track he goes. Doesn't gain any position, but I wonder if the race director is going to think that there is a penalty situation there. Again, we cannot see that on the leaderboard, unfortunately, but the fact that these two drivers are battling so hard, it's good news for Dale Taylor. He is more secure in 3rd place. Look at that, he's already 2.5 seconds ahead of Simon Allen, and the Allens continue to battle now in turn 1. Here comes Kev Allen on the inside, and I think he's got the job done. Yes, he has, and Simon Allen is going to have to yield on this one. Maybe he's going to go back on the inside. Yes, he's going back on the inside, and there's contact, and where is Kev Allen? Kev Allen has, and this is the replay from Kev Allen's perspective. Nothing wrong here with this move. And he just nudged a little bit there, and Kev Allen ends up in the wall, unfortunately for Kev Allen. And he spun as well, and that's a disaster for Kev Allen, the man that started on the front row and was trying to get back into podium contention. And now I think I will assess this as a racing incident. I think it was perfectly fair that Simon went on the inside of Kev, having yielded in turn 1. I think it was just unfortunate the way they connected, and Kev ended up being nudged off the track. He's back into 8th spot. Diogo Silva continues to chase Darren Head to no avail, and now tire management is becoming an issue because this Dubai track is very heavy on the tires of this particular car. So I wonder, we are on lap 6 into the second half of this race. Tire management is certainly very, very high in everyone's priority list. Of course, a pit stop is out of the question. It's just too much time lost, so they will have to manage these tires till the end. The race of Old Fox Racing PlayStation is just over 20 minutes, and 2 races in each round. Of course, Jumbo has lost a position to Alonso Afonso. We haven't seen how it happened, but it definitely happened because I can see visually with my eyes that the Portuguese driver is ahead of the Yorkshire driver, and the Portuguese driver is now chasing the other Portuguese driver that is in 6th place. Jumbo is a very interested spectator in this battle because, again, there is, look at that, I don't think this is going to go very well because Alonso Afonso is really, really aggressive there into the last corner, and now he's probably have a run into turn 1. And yes, we are now in the chase camera with Jorge Jesus. Is going to go for it. Yes, it is tricky to overtake in this corner if you are not side by side, but Diogo Almeida is trying to and he's trying to defend and contact. The two make contact, and Diogo Almeida is off the track, and I don't think the race director is going to let that one go. So Diogo Almeida will have to slow down, otherwise he's gonna have a penalty. He's down to 7th place, and now Jorge Jesus, what he's thinking is that he should run away from this duet as far as he can, but not really successful because Diogo Almeida is coming back at him, and now we are going to the back straight again, and these two drivers continue to go nose to tail. Excellent racing here at Dubai with these very heavy, difficult to control cars, but of course for high control difficulty, you need high talent, and that's what you have in Old Folks Racing PlayStation, with battles throughout the field. We haven't talked about a couple of the drivers. Oh, look at that now. We are not going to talk about them now because Diogo Almeida is coming back and he's on the inside of Jorge Jesus. Now they go side by side to the next corner and they both crash. They both crash, and this was clearly coming. We are going to see the replay here. Look at this, locking up is Jorge Jesus, and Diogo Almeida of course goes on the inside. Then Jorge Jesus tries to come back on the inside, and I think Diogo was trying to leave him space, but they just connected and off they went. Thank you very much, says Jumbo, as he's back into fifth place. I apologize. And now Diogo Almeida gets hit from behind by someone that I couldn't quite spot who it was, but disaster. And this is the replay. Oh, this is Scott Davely, and I think that Diogo Almeida was trying to go back into the racing line, yes, and just gets hit from behind. And that was just another unfortunate incident there. Scott Davely has had his fair share of action in this race. I haven't seen so much action with Scott in quite a while. He's normally not only incredibly consistent but also very effective at avoiding incidents, but in this case I don't think that he could have done anything to avoid hitting any other driver from behind, because Frankie just went back into the braking point where exactly Scott was, and it's not very easy to stop these cars quickly. And now Diogo Almeida was just stationary in the racing line, and look at this, we've got a battle for the lead as Diogo Silva now devises an attack in these last few laps. He's trying to secure his second win of the season, and what a battle this has been between these two drivers, a battle of nerves, with the drivers being separated by less than a second for most of the race. And look at this, Darren Head is sliding, but so is Diogo Silva, and of course tire management has become quite the issue right now as they go into the back straight. We are on lap 8, so there's still 2 laps to go at the end of this one, which is quite a lot of time in this Dubai circuit. Will Diogo Silva dive here? I don't think there's enough space. He prefers to brake effectively so that maybe he can have a run now at the exit, but Darren Head also was pretty quick through that section. We haven't mentioned a couple of the drivers. Peter Adrian is now up in 10th. He was in 11th for most of the race, but now Diogo Almeida, with this double incident with Jorge Jesus and then getting hit from behind by Scott Davely, is down in 11th, and Randy has unfortunately retired from the race. And that was an unfortunate incident at the beginning. I hope that he will come back and race again in race 2 and indeed in future rounds with the Old Folks Racing PlayStation. Of course, we have seen him in a few special events and also oval racing before with very, very, very competitive times. So we hope to see him again in the normal road circuit. Look at this, Kev Allen is drifting there through the annoying corner. And whilst that looks absolutely spectacular, it's not effective. As you can see, Kev Allen is going round in circles, literally and figuratively. He is absolutely going nowhere in this race. He is down in 8th spot again. Frankie is up to 7th, and Kev Allen will now have to deal with, oh, look at that, he's literally, oh, and he's coming towards Scott Davely, and I can't believe this. Scott Davely certainly is having more action in this race than in the entire last season. He's absolutely been in the wrong place at the wrong time 3 times in a row now. And look at this, Diogo Silva is now absolutely focused on trying to make a move on Darren Head, but I'm not sure that's going to happen because Darren is absolutely fast where it matters. Now look at this, this is now in the back straight, and now he's absolutely closer than ever, and Darren Head knows it. He's already moving into the inside, and now he potentially could do a dive here, but will he? Darren Head brakes, Diogo Silva has a think about it, but doesn't quite do it. Still 1 more lap to go after the end of this one, and we have a battle for the lead. The podium for Dale Taylor, I believe, is more or less secure. 40 Simon Allen, 50s Jumbo, 60s now Jorge Jesus, 70s Frankie is up to 7th. Nice job there navigating all this madness of the Dubai circuit. And this is Diogo Almeida now coming behind Peter Agent, that locks up, and now Diogo Almeida is going to go for it. He thought about it, he thought it would be a good idea, and then realized at the last moment that it would not be the brightest idea to try to overtake Peter Adrian in these circumstances. He will have to wait a few more corners. I believe he still has the pace to go and overtake the British driver, but Peter Adrian is certainly trying to defend big time there. Nice defending, leaving space for Diogo Almeida to also do the corner, and Peter Adrian is up to 8, and that's because Kev Allen and Scott Davey have got together. And what a disastrous race for both drivers. Kev Allen is in 11th spot. He's last on the road after having started in the front row, and that's something that he will probably want to forget as soon as the checkered flag drops. Look at this now, this is the last lap, and the two leaders are still battling, but I think Darren Head has got this under control, because I don't think that Diogo Silva is now in a position to make a move here. He's trying to make a move, not really. He's absolutely trying. Oh, and there's contact between the two drivers, and that was a bit clumsy by Diogo Silva, but certainly Darren Head was a little bit slower than the Portuguese driver. Now he's trying everything, he's getting desperate, Diogo Silva, and I don't think he's going to do anything, because he's now missed a little bit of the apex there in that absolutely critical corner that leads into the back straight, and I don't think he is close enough to make a clean move on Darren Head, but you never know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he will try, maybe, just maybe, in the last few corners, in the annoying corner. If he can use the next few corners to get behind Darren, he can maybe dive, but Darren is actually opening the gap. Look at this, it's 0.6 of a second now. Darren had some speed left in the last lap. Oh, and Diogo Silva has missed the apex again. Now he's just a little bit too far behind. He's almost 0.8 of a second, and I think Darren is going to survive this and is going to get his first win of the season. And what a battle this has been. Let's see if Darren Head doesn't make any mistake in the last few corners. He does not make a mistake here. Diogo Silva is still coming, but now he's just a little bit too far behind, and Darren Head is now approaching the last corner. The checkered flag is in the air, and he's going to win in dominant fashion. Pole position and led every lap, and now he's going to win the race in Dubai. Race 1 in Dubai. Diogo Silva finishes second, and they're second from the leader. Third is going to be Del Taylor. Fourth, Simon Allen. Big battles there, but Simon coming home with a 4th place. 5th is Jumbo, and after starting last, he's certainly in contention for driver of the day. He crossed the line in 5th place. 6th is Jorge Jesus, also from 11th, not a bad finish. 7th is Frankie, his best result of the season. 8th is going to be Diogo Almeida, and a few moments ago this is what happened with Peter Adrian and Diogo Almeida, and Diogo was trying to make a move there. Yes, he did make a move, and Peter absolutely couldn't do anything to stop the Portuguese driver, as he is going to finish in 9th spot, and Diogo Almeida is going to finish in 8th. They're still coming, as they were actually a little bit far behind the rest of the pack. This is 8th and 9th, and let's see if Peter Adrian still tries anything in the last few corners. I don't think he is close enough to make a move, so this is going to be it with 8th and 9th. 10th is going to be Scott Davely, and 11th is going to be Kev Allen, who will be looking for a better result surely in race 2. It has been an entertaining race here in Dubai, with a very entertaining group of old folks. We certainly look forward to race 2 for more action. There goes the checkered flag. There is the final classification. Join us for race 2.